Invite them in. Because winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. Super One. When life goes right, go left. Because what's right is what's left when everything goes wrong. Or just make a round circle, a limitless circle with no ends. Just like how long you want your friends to be. Invite them in. Because winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. Super One.
Hello. Can everyone hear me?
Perfect, Andreas. Sound wonderful.
So, how are you today, Steve?
Good, my friend. Doing wonderful. Everybody's jumping on in. Good to see you this morning, or this afternoon, I should say.
Oh yeah, a lot is happening. We're gonna give a verbal update today. It's been a pretty busy period in Super One with a lot of stuff on different how should I say issues, and I'm gonna give you both some delayed news, and I'm gonna give you very good news. So it's gonna be very so let's get started into it. I know you're all waiting for the NFT, and I'm gonna start a little bit about explaining about our NFT scheme and what we have been doing over the past period. So our NFT scheme is, as we have described many times, it's very comprehensive. We set out to launch 100 top players with 311 NFTs each. That's 31,100 NFTs, and that's only football. So you can tenfold that into hundreds of thousands of NFTs in the game perspective. So we are not like one piece of art that have one transaction. We have a tremendous huge amount of transactions and need to be able to do this in an efficient way. Internally on the platform, we have developed everything, and then about a month ago we told you that we contemplated to use the Binance chain because of transaction cost on the Ethereum. We created smart contract for the Binance, which is similar to Ethereum. It's exactly the same, just two different chains. And we've been dealing with that. At the same time, we have, like we said in the very beginning, we're going to open the 10 first players. But now we have done all the work with the 100 players, so we are more or less, we have more than 30,000 NFTs ready to go. We just need to deploy them into the last pieces into the IPFS, which is that's another important technology piece here. IPFS, which is the Internet Planetary System, is where we store the NFTs. That's a storage system that is immutable. That means that it's not on a centralized server operated by us, so it cannot be changed by us. That's a very how can I say important matter when it comes to the blockchain. It's there, and it's so what we are actually selling is the URL to that asset. The holder of that URL is the owner of that asset. So first of all, we ruled out the Ethereum blockchain because that's definitely way too expensive. You're looking at transaction costs at the peak, $50 to $100 for an NFT, which is just crazy. And when you're looking into the whole system we have, that's not feasible at all. We moved to Binance. They opened their chain on the 24th. That was about a week ago. And that was a little bit of disappointment because Binance opened a proprietary store. They have opened a store where you're not able to take the NFTs in or out of their store, meaning that you need to you cannot store them on the IPFS system. So that's one thing. You have to use Binance's proprietary chain to store the NFTs. At the same time, the tokens is not transferable in and out of the Binance NFT store. And this is not a good move. This is not what we do in the, how should I say, the little bit more open world of blockchain, and it doesn't fit our model very well. So basically, we've been kind of working with this solution, and we had in mind to publish everything on Binance, and now we have to leave that position for a while. So what we're doing instead is maybe much better. We, at least for all of you, and probably for the company. So we have created, as we have showed you before, our own store, and that's in final tuning. That is using credits as the purchase mean. We're using credits. So what we have done, we have decided to publish everything inside our own store and keep it away from the, let's say, the OpenSea, which is Ethereum based, which is not possible. We're going to keep it outside of Binance. We're going to create our own store. And we have done that. We have created our own store using the IPFS storage, using credits as the mean. And the only component we are, I won't say missing, that we need to plug in is the cryptocurrency or the blockchain component itself. So what we will do, we already started this work. We are looking into using the XRP ledger for NFT, and they released about a month ago a new paper on how this is done on the XRP ledger, and you're looking at transaction cost as a fraction of a penny. So we are moving towards that, and it was an investment yesterday made public where XRP, their Ripple X venture firm, SBI, which is SoftBank in Japan, they are both in, and another big gaming company, they're investing heavily into Mintable to create NFTs on the XRP ledger. And so we are doing that, but we are not waiting for that blockchain piece to get sorted out before we start selling these NFTs. So once the store internally is completed, tested, we are looking at that in a short period of time. We need a little bit stress test. We need to deploy, since we are deploying all 31,000 NFTs into the same. You can imagine it takes a little bit more time to just verify and run scripts and do things. At the same time, we are creating our bottleneck now is on the UI development. It's not the back end. It's not creating the store and functionality. It's on the user actually the not the design, but the UI implementation, which is the website you see and the app, because we have, I mean, we cannot put more gas on that, because it's not like you just flip a switch and then you have another developer deep into that code. So we have developers into that, doing that, and that will all come very quickly. We designed also a new website for Super One that's really nice, and it's synchronized or aligned with the whole store. Everything comes nicely together, and we will use credits as the thing to buy all these NFTs. We're gonna run all the 31,000 NFTs in that store for usage of credits. So we're not gonna stay outside the ecosystem. So we have a little bit of a strategic change, in the sense that we will endeavor to create a massive store ourselves. We see that the stores out there, they don't fit very well into our little bit more long-term business model. And when you're looking at what NFT, how it's working in our game, and how it could be transactable, and how we create a marketplace, we see that having an NFT store based on the XRP ledger is something really advantageous for us. It gives us a great advantage, and it gives a user a much better experience because it works utterly fast. And I can add to the same equation that we see now that most likely stable coins will come on the XRP. There's a lot of things happening despite the legal turmoil. And there is another big legal turmoil coming into this equation. Binance has, under the past weeks, been under heavy fire. And I'm a little bit surprised about how this is coming. I don't know why it's coming or how they're handling it, but SEC, not SEC, but the financial authority in UK, they launched an attack against Binance. At the same time, they've done it in Thailand. They have also done it in their domicile jurisdiction on Cayman Island. The SEC commission there has kind of started moving towards Binance. And we really don't know what will be the outcome of these things, but at the same time that worries us. And we also got from some of our advisors told us why this wait a little bit on these things. So we don't want to wait with the NFT scheme itself, but we're going to await that Binance connection. And the product they launched last week was not suitable for us at all. They are still the biggest exchange. They have a great Binance Smart Chain where we have our token and the transaction cost is low. They have a huge impact in the market, but just over the past couple of weeks we've seen a lot of headwind in terms of Binance. And we are here to create these NFTs, the storage, how we do things and everything. We are able to, we need to be in control of that. We don't want to be, we don't want to relinquish that control to Binance so they can control over NFTs. We need to have access to that. And the IPFS, it's the best. If you head over to Filecoin, you will see what IPFS is. It's the best way of creating immutable assets online. So our team is now deeply into how we can actually accommodate the XRP ledger and how we can do that with NFT tokens. We have a way of doing it, and it's just about implementation. And but that goes alongside. We will launch the NFTs with credits as soon as the UI thing is ready. But this has a little bit of implication on other stuff we're working on. We have a massive white paper that we've been dealing with, but these changes are fundamental to our business, not business model sort of, but the technical model, the internal structure between our private blockchain and the external chains. And okay, I always look on this change as a change for the better, because when you look on the feasibility of XRP and their ledger technology, it's really, really good. And that leaves me to talk a little bit about the statistics we have in Super One. Like I always say, it takes a little bit of time to walk the talk, and we always do that. We've been operational on XRP ledger now for 11 months. Through that 11 months, we have had about 700,000 rewards transactions coming out of our XRP ledger. We have about 70,000 accounts on the ledger, where half of them have purchased, approximately. So, and we've done that with very, very few failures. There are very, very few canceled transactions. And basically, we see the viability and feasibility and the advantage of the XRP as a tremendous product from a technology perspective. From a business perspective, it's also very good because there's low transaction fees. But of course, from a business/legal perspective, the past months or since December, the legal challenges in US, which is kind of seemed to be extended into a long battle, is kind of disrupting or kind of hindering us a little bit because of the exchange availability and stuff. But despite that, we also see that one of the founders of XRP has been flushing the market with a lot of XRP. So it's kind of been like a what do you say, hindering the growth of the price of XRP, as he has offloaded a lot of XRP, and that has been kind of affected the price and kept the price there. With the recent announcement from XRP and NFTs, they are also working on stablecoin. With also this founder getting rid of all his XRPs, it's scheduled to happen. I mean, he's offloading all the time, and it's getting less and less. That we feel that XRP is going to really come back very, very strong. When you see, they also announced their way of creating what's called federated side chains. That is something where you have the main XRP ledger that we're using. You can create your own private XRP ledger that is sort of connected to the main with a federated chain, and XRP can move from the main chain to the side chains, and you can create, in example, our super token or our NFTs could all be on that side chain with direct automated passporting to the main chain. So there is a lot of nerdy stuff that's really cool in this technology thing, and it excites me because it is where we're going with Super One. It's not only about getting the NFTs out there, it's to get them in the right way so we can grow from zero to hero, from our initial 30,000 to 300,000 NFTs. And the team that create the NFTs, they just keep moving. They're creating video, animation, all that is a kind of ongoing process. And since we first created the first 10 one and completed those, they finished the rest, and they kind of doing that. We started on the next batch of 30,000 on the next one. So that just keeps going on. So also because why we kind of fall in love with the XRP ledger is like I said, the feasibility of transaction. You do within a few seconds, it costs a fraction of a penny, and when it gets to the game, and that's our ultimate goal, not only the game, but we will also have financial transactions, and we will have services on the platform. We actually on Super One today, we have the same as PayPal. We can, with the great development that Arthur and his team on the app itself is now about to complete, you can transfer money from one user to another within a few seconds. So same as PayPal. We have, that's only a little piece of our system. So if you're looking a little bit into the horoscope and say, okay, we add maybe exchange services, we add financial services in terms of banking, card payments, all these things that we had in our initial plan and we still have here. We are looking how we can create this ecosystem that really everyone is benefiting from. We see now what is important. We have a lot of business in Japan. We're doing our majority of our business in Japan. SBI is the Japanese partner of Ripple. Ripple is fully legalized in Japan. It's a really sought after currency in Japan. And SBI invested in this Ripple project for doing NFT tokens on Ripple, on the Ripple or XRP level. So it is some of the big shakers and movers are really moving. Mark Cuban is also investing in that technology now. Mintable. Mintable. You can look it up, go to Mark Cuban companies and go to blockchain and you will see all these things. So there is a big sentiment. We've seen that the NFT market has kind of chilled off because of the crypto in general, chilled off for the past couple of months, and then I believe it will rebound once we get rid of all the sun and the fun and everybody gets back to business in August. We'll see it's really coming. And then we are there. We have great developments. I can talk a little bit about other stuff in the company. We Super Labs we have two companies now in Gibraltar working in tandem. We have Super One Limited, and we have Super Labs, the former Mojo. We changed name on the 1st of July, so all the operation where the developers are there, and we have Super One there. They're working in tandem. We are working now with PwC in Gibraltar to set up all the ledgers, all what we need for compliance and this stuff. Is really great together with one of the remarkable law firms there. We also had some interesting meetings a couple of weeks ago with one of the biggest app stores in the world. It's called Huawei, and it's the Chinese counterpart, or not counterpart, but maybe competitor of Google. And you know, we have Apple, we have Google, and then you have Huawei. And Huawei, they offered us 530 million players, 100 million in Europe. They offered us a premium promotion pack. They offered us advantage when it comes to the terms, financial terms. So when we get there to start recruiting players, even before that, we will have our app on Huawei, and we will really start working closely with it. And all to the benefit of Alexander, our head of operation here in Norway, because he worked closely with them before. So we have great input. We met with the whole European team, and they have the ability to make Super One a $1 billion company only within Europe, within Huawei. There are 100 million potential players in the European connected stores. We will be global, so that's fine, and we will get great support from them. And the technology is more or less the same as in the Google App Store, just a small tweaks. So it's not a big additional work for us. So that's where we are. We have been a little bit delayed with our social media presence because we created a lot of stuff. Now this week we have employed 3 new journalists, and they're coming from some remarkable media. 2 of them are really big contributors in Cointelegraph. Another one is featured in Forbes and New York Times. They have just started working. We are laying out taking everything we have created before, putting it on the table, and we are chopping it into pieces and synchronizing it with our white paper and everything. So shortly we will really start coming to the market with this material. But it's been pretty busy weeks, and yeah, a little bit disturbing things that we have done, a lot of work that we have to revert and do again on a different chain. These kind of things. It's not been that, and we are a little bit frustrated that we don't have enough capacity. The 2 things we don't have enough capacity is on the design itself, the creative design of our let's say website presentations, these kind of thing, and it's the UI implementation. The reason why we don't have enough capacity on the design is it not that easy to find designers that comes up to hire our principal designer, and he works his 12 hours every day, and we have no special terms to do 12 hours every day. But he's been into, we have done some work that we haven't showcased yet, and it's also related to UI. So we kind of needed to spend a little bit time not doing all the things that we put out there. But you can rest assured that the website coming now is really cool. I'm gonna show you a little video about the NFTs. It's just a draft. It's just a mock of where we are. But we're gonna add a little bit more spice to it the coming week when we have a little bit more leeway to do that, and then they make it public. I know that Steve asked for it the whole week because he saw a little piece of it earlier, but we're gonna do that. And we need to come with that. We had a great token magic. It's completed. We had good numbers beginning of this week before the end of the there. Now we're moving. We need to move on. July going to be or is already a very exciting month for us, and we're looking really forward to the whole next 6 months with the game release, with everything. We have a lot of things in making. Also, we are tying up the loose ends from all the features that Arthur has created. And that guy is like a Duracell rabbit. He creates features while he's sleeping. So we are looking a little bit into how we efficientate that and how we do things. We have the mini wallet that we are looking into. But I mean, I got some amazing statistics that we sort of we have a lot of people, like I said, all over, and the mini wallet has sold. We have sold about 7,600 of those, so it's something we're looking into. A lot of things, how things are working. At the same time, that comes in the extension of the mini wallet is the credit card purchase. The whole idea when we created the mini wallet was that you have your main balance and you have your deposit balance, and that deposit balance is something that you cannot touch. And the reason we created that is to when we get to credit card purchase, we need to prevent fraud, in the sense that people steal a credit card, buy XRP, take it into the action without buying anything, sending it to another user, and whatever. It keeps us involved in that. So we need to lower the risk of the fraud risk. We needed to create that. So there is a lot of good things coming out of this now. And I have another one which is very amazing. It's from the 1st of July. We got license in Indonesia. Stians have been working very hard to obtain a license. So we created a subsidiary in Indonesia like 3 months ago. We got the first business license pretty quickly. Now we have got the license to kill in Apple App Store, Google, cryptocurrency, NFT. So we have a fully licensed operation in Indonesia with 300 million people. So that's what we're gearing up now. Really, we're going to have a strong presence in Indonesia, and that will have ripple effect throughout the region. It will be contact. We also see that in Philippines we have some great people working. There's more than there is like nearly 5,000 people in Philippines now. We're going to see a ripple effect to Philippines. We're going to do things in Vietnam because we have a team there from before. We're going to start really, and they need it in English. No, in Vietnamese. They need everything in Vietnamese, and we're going to do that. All that translation will take place. Indonesian, Vietnamese, Philippine, they do English. Only in those regions, and of course India, we have a great team in India, and we have people in many places, but India is really good. We have Japan, we need to do things in Japanese. So we're going to get there now when we have everything ready. We'll never be ready, but we will have the first version. So that's it. So we're working pretty diligently. At the same time, I'm a little bit concerned about the corona situation in some of these countries. Indonesia went into a complete lockdown yesterday. India is facing. There are here in Norway, it's sunny, it's holiday time, everybody is crazy, everybody got two shots of Pfizer, and it's good. But we have to look to the other countries and see how things are developing. So that's everything for now. You can ask me any questions. I think we are on a good note. We are a little bit delayed, and we are a little bit disappointed to Binance, I must say. But at the same time, we have something really cool, and I can send you some links on some of the reasons why this investment took place from Archibald, from SBI, from Ripple into Mintable, is because the utility NFTs is what's the next wave. And guess who has the utility NFTs? That's us. We have them. They are tied into the game. And the gaming company that invested in this now, I don't remember the name, Amoeda Game or something, they just raised $135 million on a $1 billion valuation. So that's where we're heading, guys. That's where we're heading.
Andreas, some great updates, and not only on the verbal point. I know that video you're trying to sneak in. Hopefully, you'll show it as we recap. I think it's a good hard stop today. But listen, we had some great questions. Sam and I have been kind of corresponding with the field of questions. Daniel had a great question of talking about, have you ever considered having an exchange with Super One with the NFTs inside a Super One app? That's really what we have now. A lot of people don't realize that's what we have, and it has that functionality in that.
We're gonna have. I developed a new little thing in my head. I call it the initial art offering. Okay.
All right.
Something new. Initial
very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Have that on Super One. So once we roll out, it will be an IAO coming to Super One marketplace alone, and the existing members will, of course, be the first to buy this with credits. And there will be a marketplace with a billing engine, of course, so you can sell them and you can have that whole marketplace going within the ecosystem. Why should we share these fees with some other? We can do it ourselves. We are 70K people. That's just the beginning. We're going to have 7 million people into this by the end of the year. So what we are concerned about is not the initial 31,000 NFTs. It's all the small things in the game. The small shields, everything that we develop and have developed on the gaming side that needs to be on blockchain. We're gonna have sort of millions of NFTs into the system. And they only should be on the blockchain as the future to be immutable. And we have tons of other products and services that will require this. The whole one thing I can reveal from the white paper, you will see it, is the GDPR, which is the consumer protection in Europe that's kind of extending all over the world. Even your bloody Americans are getting it now. So the thing, and Apple is really spearheading this. So the GDPR section is where we store your private data as an NFT at the IPFS, Internet Planetary File System. We store all your private data there. Then we have a secure hash to your identity there, which is our identity. And if you come and say, I don't want you to access my private data, we burn the connection. And voila, it's there, but nobody knows who it is. It's unusable because you cannot, the GDPR requires you to delete the data, but you cannot delete on an immutable blockchain. It's impossible. So all the aggregated data will be there, but the identity will be deleted, the connection to the identity. And this is the future of how we will do marketing, because the brands will be able to market through blockchain verified. We are also working with SumSub, which is the main on the KYC thing. So we are able to actually take identity from people. So we are actually able to, let's say all of you that come in and you say, okay, I'm here for staking, we need your identity. Okay, we need to procure legal compliance or regulatory compliance. We're going to have identity built into the whole app. So we can actually offer to the brands, you have to consent to it, but we can offer identity verified data, cognitive data about your information. This is so powerful that the brand we talk to or the marketing people, they just say, I love it. Because this is the future. That's why we say Super One is the future today. This is the future going there. One of the main problems in marketing today is the waste of money, because they don't know the audience they're reaching. They don't know the receptors of marketing messages. Here we can actually reward people that love Manchester United, live in London, have played the game, married, whatever. We can actually find a way to point these people, and the brands will pay much more to reach those individuals directly on a private basis than they need to do a mass campaign.
Yeah. Fantastic, Andres. I mean, you with all the technical stuff you're sharing today, it blows people away. And I know there's multiple languages here today. Maybe you're translating for us here today for Andreas's information. And Andreas, we're excited for, here we are starting out the month of July. You know, we've got some reductions in game credits. You know, you want to get your packs, folks. You want to get your whole bundle packages. That's what we do from the network side. The network side brings revenue to the company and brings revenue to you, of course, for referring the platform and all the tools that Andreas and the team are doing, guys. Fantastic. Yes, you know, Andreas, Arthur did share some great points, what you talked about, of the new content you guys are working on to bring to the back office. It's going to be amazing. So we're really more than a game. A lot of times people think, Andreas, that we're just a game. We're not. We can be many different facets in our model. And that's what's so exciting about it. NFT, like you said, the game as we roll that out coming up this fall, all the important ingredients to build a real business and a real brand. So
that's the key word you said, real business. Because if you look into the whole crypto space and you see how many of those, let's say, entertainment or gaming companies have really launched something successful, it's not that many. It's Engine is one of them. There are not that many. Crypto has very much been about speculation, going up and down, trading goods and this kind of thing, making money, and that's fine. Somebody deal with that. We are not dealing with that. We are dealing with creating products that's sustainable for the next decade and really will spearhead us and bring us forward. If you're looking at what happened to Facebook now, they're getting a lot of heat everywhere, and especially from Apple, because Apple has been a frontier over the past year when it comes to privacy data. They have the power to do it, and I think what we create from a marketing perspective is really, really good, and we see it when we talk to resources like or outlets like ULA. You see that they're starting to smile, because the people that heads ULA in Europe, they have been more than a decade or two into gaming. They are gaming people. We have the head of gaming in Europe, head of gaming in Nordic, head of App Store in Europe, and they're all looking at our material and they just say, wow, this is cool.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And
the whole thing about the trivia space is really good. And
exactly.
Not to forget about the social aspect of this, people meeting people. That's a really, really sexy thing, and we really need to do it right. We're not afraid of how we do. Now it's the foundation. We're still kind of just now. Once we have that sorted out, I think within the upcoming week we will have that.
Yeah, fantastic. Andreas, if it's something you would just sneak in that last little video for people, and that would kind of close out our morning. And listen,
let's go to play. Have a nice Saturday, and we'll run that video, and we will make it public not too long. Okay, thank you very much, Steve, for your effort.
You bet, sir.
Thank you, and let's have a great weekend, and let's get to work. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you, Andreas. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. We look forward to being seen out in the field of business at Super One. Let's go make it a great week coming up. God bless everybody, and welcome to Super One.